Hey guys and gals, welcome back. And today we're back to work on that Arzzusa Telecaster that we did an unboxing on a couple of months ago. I think I can make this thing a whole lot more playable. For those of you that follow me, I picked up a job playing in a country band. So I thought it was appropriate to take the Telecaster out, and it is. But I hate to say it, it's unplayable in its condition. Not because of the way it showed up or the hardware or any of that I'd like to get around to changing. That's not why it's unplayable. It's got a microphonic pickup. So what does that mean? A microphonic pickup. There's a wire in that pickup that's loose and jangling around. So I got a new pickup to replace it with. But I also got a pot of hot wax over here, and we're gonna dip this pickup in that wax and see if we can fix it and make it sound good. Because to be honest with you, I'm not mad at how this pickup sounds. Even though, yeah, it's a Chinese pickup, but it doesn't sound that bad. So maybe dipping it in wax, in that $6 bar of wax, maybe that's gonna be enough, and I didn't need to spend $99 on this Brad Paisley Brea pickup. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. Did I waste my money on this pickup? Do you guys have one? Do you like it? What do you think? When I looked up Telecaster pickups from Seymour Duncan, their broadcaster pickup, which I like, was $89. And Brad Paisley's pickup was $99. So let's try it out. You guys know the story of the Brea, right? When Brad Paisley was looking for his ultimate Telecaster, he came across a 1968 Telecaster. And while it was being prepped and ready to be sent to him, the guy said, hey, look, there's a black coat of paint on this thing. I'm going to go ahead and take it off. He started to take it off, and it revealed that original Fender Paisley finish. So Brad Paisley named his guitar Brea, because it was like coming out of the tar pits of Brea. That guitar needed a set of pickups. So Brad went to Seymour Duncan, and this pickup is what he came up with. It can't be bad, right? So here's how you know your pickup's microphonic. It shouldn't do this. See, that's rubber. If I touch the pickup with metal, I expect it to make sound. Just like the neck pickup, watch. I expect to hear that, but I shouldn't hear. I'm doing it on the side so I don't get the strings. I shouldn't hear that when I hit it with rubber. But on bridge pickup, man, that's loud. So what's going on there? There's a wire in this coil that's loose, just a little bit, and it's bouncing around and it's making that horrible microphonic sound. And you might not think that's that bad, right? Listen to this. Here it is clean. Add a little gain. And it's just gonna sit there and do that. For all of my solos on the whole gig, I had to play them in the neck pickup. It wasn't terrible, but I couldn't use a Telecaster for what a Telecaster was supposed to be used for. So that was a pretty rough way to get through that gig. Let's fix it today. So enough of this talking about it. Let's get this guitar apart and get that pickup hung in the hot wax. I went down to the Hobby Lobby and I got this little block of wax for $6. You don't see it because it took a long time to melt in that tiny little crock pot, which, by the way, is the most awesome little thing for wax potting pickups. Once you get the wax going, I had to use Bernie McBurnerson just to get that wax melted. Once it's melted, it stays liquid in there and nice and easy to work with, and a good temperature that's not going to burn the wax. So that little thing that I grabbed at a pawn shop for $6.99 is one of my favorite purchases ever. So check your pawn shops for a little croquette. Man, this thing's awesome. All right. want to be hearing that. Okay, montage begin. Yeah. Black and white. There. All right, look at that. It does have a little copper base plate in there. It's not really how tele pickups work. Okay. Look here. In a real tele pickup, these pole pieces are the magnets. It has a copper base plate and then wound around the magnets. This has a bar magnet on the bottom, which is magnetizing all the pole pieces. And then it's wound really skinny. It's tough to see it underneath that wrap, but this is really skinny compared to this. It's interesting that they put the copper base plate on it. That's why it has that Telecaster snappy sound, is this right here. This is why. Oh man, how am I going to keep that on there while it's in the wax? Tricky, tricky. I bet I have a rubber band somewhere.
2 hours later.
Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Let's take this tape off very carefully. I don't want to hurt anything. Especially since we know we have a loose coil in there. It might be on the outside. Yep, there it is. I see it. See it? Be very careful now. Oh man, it's loose all the way on the end. There it is. Can you see that? See it. Right there. And it's rare you get to see it. It's the last one, too. Man, these leads are just hanging in here. That's not how you're supposed to do this. Come on, China, do better. No wonder you have loose coils if you don't anchor these leads down here where they're supposed to be anchored. Wow. See how that's done? How those wires come through and they're anchored right there and they're soldered right there at the end. That's how it's supposed to be. This is guaranteed to fail. Wow. All right. Look, there's a little wax. They did wax it. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ignore that we saw that. Try to just put it back together. Holy crap. I think the tape was doing some kind of mechanical job holding it in place. That's just wrong. I'm gonna put this tape on here backwards. Doesn't matter. It doesn't freaking matter. Oh, this is trash. Okay, this is just an experiment at this point. This is not the way you build a pickup. Wow, that's just built terribly. Interesting attempt, but no. Put one rubber band around like this. Try to hold them coils. And we're going to put another one around like this to hold that backing plate. And you want to let that sit until all the bubbles stop coming out. All of those bubbles is wax taking up airspace. And just let that continue to fill it. And at this point, man, I'm glad I got a replacement pickup because that thing is trash and I'm not going to take that on the road. I promise you. But I guess we can see if we can make it sound any kind of good. Man, I'm really glad I got a replacement pickup. At this point, I don't care what it is, just because that pickup is obviously trash. But at this point, it's an experiment, and I already heated up the wax, so we're here, and this is just happening. But let's go ahead and get this Brad Paisley Brea pickup installed in the Telecaster and see what it sounds like. Let's go. I love how the pickups are just coming with the surgical tubing now. Like they just gave up on the springs over there at Seymour Duncan. We know what you guys are doing, and we're just going to send you the surgical tubing ourselves. That's super cool. Good looking out, Seymour. All right, I know real men don't read directions, but we're going to read directions. All right. Let's tack these on here where I think they go anyway. I suppose they're going to be a little bit yellow. Go, nice neat job. So with the Seymour Duncan pickup wired properly, the two pickups were still out of phase with one another. So I flipped the neck pickup. Why? Because the base plate on the bridge pickup of a Telecaster is grounded. So that's got to be put together right, and if they're out of phase, you got to flip the neck. That was with the distortion, by the way. I actually hear more in the neck pickup now. Man. That's spanky and clear. That's beautiful. All right, let's do one more thing. Let's get that capacitor out of there. That guy right there. You, sir, are evicted. Let's get a quality capacitor in here. That's one of the easiest and best mods you can make to your Telecaster. Wow, I tell you what, this really has a lot of clarity. That's exactly what you want from a Telecaster bridge pickup. That's just the sound. That's proper. I'm so glad that we put that pickup in there. I don't know what's going to happen with this guy. That's going to be an experiment for another day. I'm going to let that sit and dry and harden up all the way before we try to put that back in any guitar. That's just a calamity the way that pickup is put together. So here's what it is. At the end of the day, you could drop a good pickup in a mediocre guitar and go out and play a gig and sound awesome. That sounds awesome. Do I want a couple things to make me a little more comfortable? Yes. I would probably clean up the fret ends, and I'm definitely going to change these tuners. They're made of cheese. I know they're locking tuners, but no, they just don't fit or work right. I want a good output jack, and I want to use a nice recessed output jack, something that's going to be solid. But other than that, I can even work with this neck pickup. That's not bad at all. I'm going to spend the majority of my time on the bridge pickup on a Tele anyway. And this is absolutely going to cut the mustard for what I need it to do. I'll probably wind up replacing the bridge with an ashtray bridge just because I like how that feels on my palm. And that's really it. I'm just going to play the crap out of it. These are the strings that it showed up with. I think they're 9s even. I'm going to put 10s on it. But it plays great. I've played a couple of gigs with it. That pickup really annoyed me because it was squealing the way it was. So a good replacement on top of a cheap guitar, you can be out there spanking chicken picking licks in no time. So if you guys enjoy this content, do me a big favor. Hit like, hit subscribe, and most importantly, ring that notification bell so you get notified every single time I post new content. It's going to be stuff like this. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to hang out and we're going to have a great time. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys in the next video.